was a night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, except for me, my little brother Nemo, and Santa. For an entire year, we'd waited for this night, and now it was here. Mr. Claus had screwed us over, and tonight, he would pay. Wait a minute. I'm jumping the gun. Let me start at the beginning. This whole ordeal began when my younger brother Nemo and I were boys. Christmas had always been a magical time for us. Every year, Uncle Paul flew in from Indiana. He would tell us wonderful tales of Christmas adventures like Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Icky, the pimped-out elf. But our favorites were the ones about Santa. We loved the tales about the workshop in the North Pole, the little helper elves, and the Christmas Eve deliveries. But one year, he let us in on a very important secret: how to get exactly what we wanted for Christmas. He explained how Santa had a system of surveillance on every single child in the world and could see what they did for the entire year. There were a set of rules to follow in order for him to bring whatever they desired. 1, be good. 2, be nice. 3, be honest. 4, don't pout. 5, don't shout. 6, don't cry. 7, promote peace. And 8, be positive. That was it. Nemo and I had been given the key to ultimate knowledge. We vowed to follow every rule for a full year, and we also decided not to be greedy, and we kept our Christmas wish list limited to 3 items each. My list was simple. Number 1, I wanted a presidential Rolex. 2, a lifetime supply of chocolate. And 3, $1 million in cash. Nemo's list was equally as simple. Number 1, he wanted a 9mm handgun. 2, a passionate love affair with Parker Posey. 3, $1 million American dollars. We figured that Mr. Claus would not only be impressed that we followed his commandments, but we kept our requests short and simple. That's right. For a full year, my little brother and I remained completely faithful to Santa's criteria. We led peaceful and virtuous lives. We felt that aiding humanity for a year was a small price to pay for the magnificent booty we were guaranteed to receive come Christmas. Before we knew it, the year had passed and the Yuletide season was upon us again. Uncle Paul informed us of Santa's fondness for sugar cookies, so on Christmas Eve we hooked up a fresh batch for him. I don't think either one of us slept that night. The excitement was just too much. For a whole year we did what was right, and in the morning we would receive the anticipated fruits of our efforts. Can you imagine just how happy we were? For there, under the tree, was the proof that Santa made good on his promise. Immediately, Nemo and I ripped the wrapping paper from our gifts. And guess what? Santa gave us nothing, and I mean nothing, that we requested. Were my eyes deceiving me? I mean, instead of a presidential Rolex, I received a cheap-ass Tiki timer watch. And even though I clearly stated I wanted a lifetime supply of chocolate, I was given one box of chocolate-covered macadamia nuts. Yuck. And poor Nemo. His prayer for a 9mm handgun was answered with a punk-ass space boy laser ray gun. And instead of a passionate love affair with Parker Posey, he received a big-ass poster of Charlie Parker. And remember the $1 million in cash we each asked for? Well, we didn't get those either. Nope. Instead, Santa decided to insult us each with a crisp 10 spot. While all the other kids played with their new toys and sang Christmas tunes, Nemo and I sat completely unmoved. This was pure bullshit. For a full year, we behaved like a couple of wusses, and this is what we got. All of our faith and dedication had been in vain. We filled our end of the bargain, and old Saint Nick and his staff shit on us for it. There was no way this fat motherfucker was getting away with this. And next Christmas, he would pay. It was I who conjured the immaculate blueprint to how we were gonna off this fat fool. At first, Nemo suggested that we catch a flight out to the North Pole and ice his bitch ass at his home. But since he chose to renege on the money we asked for, we had insufficient funding for such a trip. We both agreed that it would be much better to wait for his arrival the following Christmas. Nemo had a pretty interesting idea.
I know, let's poison his cookies.
Nah, that'd be a complete waste of cookie dough.
Yeah.
We were at a loss for a plan. Then, that night, while playing Atari, it hit me.
Nemo, I got it.
It was pure genius.
Okay, here's what we do.
Since we had to wait a full year to execute our revenge, Nemo and I decided to betray everything we knew Santa expected of us. We became the most demonic and devious little bastards we could. The year passed quickly, and soon enough, the Yuletide season was back again. Just like every other year, everyone was running around hooting and hollering about Christmas cheer. Everyone except for Nemo and I. Nope, we were too busy going over our plan.
Okay, we should hide right here, don't you think? And then you come over here
And when Christmas Eve arrived, we were ready. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring. Except for me, my little brother Nemo, and Santa. For an entire year we'd waited for this night, and now it was here. Mr. Claus had screwed us over, and now he would pay with his life. He never knew what hit him. I choked him with the jump rope I'd stolen from the playground earlier that week. This kept him from screaming as Nemo assaulted him with the jumbled candy canes he sucked to sharpen perfection. Before we knew it, the jolly old elf struggled no more. Santa Claus was dead. We dragged his fat carcass to the old well behind our house and dropped him in along with the rope. We quickly cleaned the mess in the kitchen and returned to our rooms. Before we went to bed, we made a pact. We made a pinky promise never to tell a soul what we had done. Then we slept. Yes, for the first time in a year, we slept, and so did our dirty little secret. I'm telling you now because I think it's only fair that you know the truth. Santa Claus is dead, and his remains are in the old abandoned well behind our house on Oakey Street. Anytime you think you see him at the mall or at a department store, do not be fooled, because they are all imposters. So now you know. Now you can stop lying to your kids and finally fill them in on the truth. By the way, there's one more strange thing that happened on that final Christmas. See, Uncle Paul never showed up that Christmas or any other time after. It's almost as if he knew Santa was no more. I can't help but wonder though. I wonder if somehow he knew we were the ones who murdered old Saint Nick.